Hello and welcome to the Feng Shui Money Couch. Of course, today I'm actually in my office
Good.
and I'm recording with Gail Minogue, who is a numerologist, and she does individual sessions. She has a YouTube channel, she has a book, and she does speaking engagements, and she's just a wonderful lady. I love her. And hi, Gail. Thank you for
Hey
joining me.
there. Gosh, thanks, Laura. It's nice. Always nice to hear something nice. I'm glad to see you today.
I'm so happy to see you. This is the second time you've been interviewed by me, but now we're on a completely new, it's a new show, sort of, new set,
Yeah, right.
whole new environment. Because the first time we actually got together in person at my old
I
apartment.
did. I did. Yeah, at your old place. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Well, let's start with the topic at hand, which is the numerological energy of 2026 that we're about to enter into and what we can anticipate for that versus, maybe we can talk a little bit about also the energies of this year versus next year. What can you tell us?
I think the first part of the year, particularly till about July, it's very hard. It's a very tough time for people, and it's going to continue. It isn't going to let up. And we're in a long cycle of change while America reinvents itself. So it's had to go through quite a destructive phase, which it's been in. It's destroying a lot of things that are in place from the last 80 years. Because if you know my work, I speak in these big 80-year cycles, and this is a big institutional change. So everything that's from World War II, all these agencies, whether it's USID or the Education Department, all of these were formed after World War II. And so since we go back to 80 years, we kind of look at everything, disrupt it, and destroy it so we can reinvent. So this is ongoing and it's going right into 26.
Yeah.
And so it's not a fun time. I think 26 will be a bit better than 25 because there was so much bulldozing done in 25, and it required a lot of patience. It's a two universal year, but it required a lot of patience, which Americans don't have. And so it was very hard on people. Everything was like doing top speed, very distracting and destructive and disruptive. So that's what we're in still, and it's going to go into 26. But 26, the year itself, is a three personal year for the United States. It's a little bit lighter. It will be still the same, but not as strong as this period was in 25, which was the initial, a real initial breakup. So it's like the divorce, the filing has been done, and here we go, mishmash all the properties. And that's kind of what 25 has been, where we divvy up the properties and break it apart. And that's what we're doing, and we're still doing it. So everything is a test of, what needs to go. If it doesn't go, how should it be reinvented? So it's a very much what America does every 80 years. And since we don't remember what it was like when it entered this period in the 40s, very few people do. We don't have any frame of reference to this, how awful it was coming out of the 30s. And then the Civil War was 80 years before that. And then the American Revolution was 80 years before that. So we're in one of these dynamic periods, which is quite painful. And it affects every area of the economic, it affects the culture. Culture's under big changes. So it's social, economic, and institutional. Very
Well,
stressful.
Gail, so you're talking about the numerology of the United States, but the universal
I'm talking
year,
about the University of the United
or
of the United States.
right.
Yeah.
However, the universal year was nine, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So the United States itself as a country has its own numerology for the year.
Yes.
And but let's talk a little bit about more the universal year too,
The
because
universal year for 25 was the number nine. And if
yeah.
you look around the year, it's always about completions and endings. And since the United States is the leader of the world,
Mhm.
what it does affects the rest of the world. So in a 9 year, you would see a lot of endings, which is very much true. You look at the world and its hair's on fire. A lot of old systems ended in 2025. The European Union being able to be dependent upon the US for its protection, that's ended. Okay. And all around the world, there's just an upheaval of old systems breaking apart or not being able to continue the way they have been doing. So as you
Right.
enter into 2026 in a 1 year, so there'll be new beginnings in the world. But again, these are just seed planting times. They're not they're not manifestation time. In a one
Right.
year, it's not a manifestation, it's a seed planting. So a lot of things will take root. And my feeling is in this period of time, there will be another nation that we do not recognize yet that will lead to another empire, the country itself. We don't know what it is
Ooh,
yet.
interesting. Well,
Yeah,
so back to the 9 universal year that we are in right now, we also have personal years. And
right.
I wanted to talk about that a little bit as well because for me, like the last time that we got together, we were talking about this a little bit, and I was in a 1 year, and this year is supposed to be a 2 year for me personally, right?
For 2025.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So what's interesting about personal years versus the universal year is that, both things are happening at once, right? So we went from like last year, I guess, was an 8 year for the United States, and now it's a 9 year, and we're going into a 1 year. And so what I'm getting at is that I was in a 1 year last year, and then I went into a 2 year. But what I felt so dominantly was the 9 year. So at least
So,
at the
but what
beginning.
month are you born in your year? What month are you born in your year?
Oh, well, I'm the end of the year. I'm almost the last day of the
So
year,
you will
December
always
26th.
have a combination in any year
Oh
because you're
yeah.
not born in the early part of the year when all that energy begins. You're a holdover from the prior energy. So you actually carry two energies. You
Oh,
have that. So if I'm in a beginning year, fortunately for me, it's easier. I'm born in the beginning of a year. I'm born in February,
right.
February 6th. So I start to feel the energy of the new year now. I already feel it. I've been feeling it since November started. And so
Wow.
the energy is coming in from that new year, which is going to me to be a 9 year. I'm entering a 9 year in 26. So I will go through all of 26 in my 9 year. If I was born in October or November, I would not really feel the effect of that energy until for sure summer. It
Yeah,
would
no,
it would always be a combined energy for me. I'd be having to clear up my 8 year and going into my 9 year later in the year. So
yeah,
that's what's
so
confusing for people.
exactly. So okay. So there's the issue of the universal year, there's people's personal year, and then depending on when you're born, if you're born early in the year, then your universal or your personal year
First of
will
all, I
be.
think I think people should know when you talk about personal year how they figure out a personal year.
Yes, let's
Yeah,
tell
so I think we should start there.
them.
And
Okay.
how we get a personal year is we add the month of birth to the day of birth. So if I'm born February 6th, that's an 8. And so I would add that to the universal year, okay? Which in this respect is it's going to be a 1. So
One
I
for
will add
26.
that to 2026. I'll add that to 2026, my birth, my month, my day, 2 and 6. I add it to the universal year, which is 2026, and that will give me a number 9. And that's how I get my personal year. You add the month and day to the universal year. So anybody out there who wants to know what their personal year is, you need to add your month of birth to day of birth to the universal year. And in 2026, it is a 1 universal year. You
Right.
add the
And it's
2 and
it's
the 2 and the 6.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's reduced into a single digit because sometimes people.
Yes, it's reduced.
Yeah.
2026 will reduce to a 10, will reduce to a 1. So
Yeah.
basically, it's a 1 universal year. So it's a seed planting year for the world. So a lot of new countries, new ways of being existing will begin in 2026 for countries. And
Right.
but it's not a one. If you look at the personal year in the United States, it's not 1 year at all. It's a
Ex-
three,
Yeah.
which is a more expansive year. And so part of this year, and it's born in July, July 4. So part of this year will be heading off the remnants of the two. So it requires still patience going into this year, 2026. But as the year it takes shape, it will lighten up. So my feeling is the most difficult month of the year will be February.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the United States. It's a tough month. We have to get through December's a tough month, and February's a tough month. April is not easy, but the let up really comes July because then you have already gone past several of the primaries. May and June are big primary months in America for the elections in November. And once you get past them, stuff lightens up. So it really lightens up by July.
Okay.
And a lot of stuff will be, you're going to see and know a lot more by then. Right now, we've been in this rocket socket, boom, bash, destroy, destructive, and disrupt. And so things start to take what I call the cracks in the egg will are starting already, but you will see them really take off once we get spring, summer. So it's still a very difficult period of time right now
Well,
for Americans.
let's get into how it is more personally, because back to the point that I was starting to make of the universal year versus your personal year, what I can say from my personal experience was I felt that nine energy above and beyond my personal year stuff, which would have been one residual one energy from the previous year because I'm born late in the year. And then, but then the second half of the year, my personal energy, the two energy kicked in, which I thought was interesting. But boy, was the universal number so overpowering over everything. So what do you consider a bigger focus? Your personal year or the universal year?
Always the personal year.
Really?
Always, always the personal year. Yep. It's like if you have a big apartment building and
Hmm.
it has a certain number on the street, but you're in unit two, you pay attention to unit two, not the whole building. Your focus is on your unit number or your apartment number, not the whole building number. You don't live in the whole building, you live in unit two.
Right.
So that's universal year is out there, it's kind of giving an energy to the world, but you focus on what yours is.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Well, that's interesting. In the Chinese astrology, it was the year of the snake, which was death and rebirth, and kind of goes hand in hand with that nine energy of completion, endings, etc. So I felt that universal energy. But yes, my two energy kicked in the second half of the year. It was interesting.
So,
And
and
I
you're talking about this year in 2025.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you're still going to feel that two energy going into 2026 because you're born so late in the year.
Yeah, yeah. So that's fun because that was actually better than the beginning.
It was better in the beginning of the year.
No, no, the second half of the year was better than the beginning of the year. My mother
Oh, okay,
died at the
yeah,
beginning of the
yeah,
year. It was
yeah.
just a
Well,
shit
I've been
show.
in an 8 year and going into a 9 year. And in some respect, I'm so grateful to be done with the 8 year because it's all about money, business, contracts, expenses. It's a grind. And so the 9 year is a release because I know a lot of things are going to end, but I have never gone into a 9 year without a very important death occurring or a ending of other employment or relationship. There has to be a big ending for me because my own destiny is a nine. It hits that off when I hit that nine. I'll give you an example. In my last, no, it wasn't my last, it was 2 9 cycles ago. And I was in my nine personal year. My mother died in the ninth month in September. On the ninth day, she died September the ninth in the ninth hour at 9:14 on the death certificate in my ninth year.
Wow.
Another 9 year, I went through a divorce. It was filed in my 9 year. Another of the company I was working for filed bankruptcy in a 9 year. And so I know um, I'm expecting for sure a death in this year because my husband, as you know, is in a facility. He should have been gone this year. He didn't, but he's very much lingering. I am sure he will be gone in by the end of next year.
Yeah.
And it's just, and a lot of things will complete in a 9 year. A lot, and the nice thing about a 9 year is things that have been difficult or hard also end. And
Okay.
and
That's
so
a good way to look at
that
it.
is the good thing. And it's cleaning house. It's if you've been wanting to finish a book, you got to finish up projects in a 9 year. Always finish up projects in a 9 year. If you were writing a book, finish it. If you're working on building something, finish building it or don't do it. But because you don't want to enter into a 1 year with baggage.
Right.
You don't want to carry things over into a 1 year.
Right.
It's a
So,
brand new beginning, and each 1 year sets up another 9 year cycle. So what you seed in a 1 year is going to seed for 9 years.
well, let's go over, since I want people to take something personal away from this above and beyond the universal year and the United States. Now, let's go over what kind of year through the nine numbers
Sure.
that they can kind of look to. And with the caveat, folks, that as that Gail just mentioned earlier, if your birthday is early in the year, then this energy is consistent. If your birthday is late in the year, like mine, it's almost the last day of the year, you're still carrying the number of the previous year for about the first half of the year, and
Yes.
then the number of the
Yeah.
year into the second.
As you always go into a year, a number gets stronger.
Mm,
So I might start off with, say, an 8 year, which I was in this year. So as I get down to the ninth month, it's excruciatingly strong
ooh,
because you add the ninth month, which is September, to the 8 year, and you will get a double whammy of that number eight. Because
well,
whatever
that's
you add
interesting.
to nine is the same number. If I
Okay.
add 6 to 9, it's 15 or 6. If I add 7 to 9, it's 16 or 7. So that's another way to look at it. But it's month and day added to the universal year. So if you are in a one personal year now or going into a one personal year in 2026, you want to start your new beginnings. You want to have new plans. You want to kind of be selfish. It's this year is for you. It's not for coupleness. It's a good year to start a business. It's a good year to meet people, not necessarily consummated because you have to focus on planting seeds in a 1 year. So look at job opportunities, look at new places to move to. Start your projects in a 1 year. Very important. You don't have to, usually the first few months of any new year are slow. So January, everybody's hungover and broke. And then in February, it starts to improve. We come out. We have Valentine's Day. We have President's Day. If you're in the snowy weather, you see the crocus come out of the snow, stuff like that. And it's all very much, something's going to turn. And then in March, stuff goes. So it's 1, 2, 3, go. We go in the third month. That's your active month, is your third month of any year. And it's look at the seasons, the winter and then the spring comes and things start to move. So you want to be, if you're in a 1 year, you want to be planting those seeds. You want to be getting out there, meeting people, stop staying in a fog, and particularly good launching month is March.
Okay.
Always, always. But you want to put your plans in place. You've been planning for a few years now. Now you put them in place because you've been really activated for the last couple of years on your plans. Now you launch them. So that's your 1 year. In a 2 year, you have to be patient. If you planted your seeds, you must be patient so it can get roots. If you do not let it get roots and you get impatient, nothing will grow. So patience is required in a 2 year. And also you need to not share your ideas with other people in a 2 year. Don't talk about your plans. Don't ask what they think about it. Don't do any of that. Be patient. Cultivate what you have started. Do your groundwork. In your 3 year, this is a year of expansion. I like 3 years because they expand, they're more joyful. You want to network, you want to change your appearance, you want to do things that are more fun, joyful, more entertaining, stuff like that. Networking is really important in a 3 year.
Gail, can we go back to the 2 year for a second? Isn't also a good time for people to couple up the 2 year?
2 year is very good for couple and relationships. In
Okay.
fact, if you meet somebody in a 2 year, they have more permanency than in a 1 year, than any other year, really. So people get very serious in a 2 year because it's a year people don't want to be alone. And if you move into a two house by alone or a two apartment, people always feel they want to be with somebody because a two wants a couple. And
Yeah.
so when you're in a 2 year, you always want to be with somebody. You want a relationship. And that's when you can find someone. And you can find someone by not looking. Much better than actively looking for someone. You don't do that. You mentally get into a phase where you can attract it to you, and you put yourself in positions where you can meet people, but you don't necessarily go out to meet a relationship. Forget that. So in a 2 year, yes, it's that energy I want to be, but we're not desperate. Okay. So in patience, and you do not force yourself in a 2 year. You do not force. You compromise. You're tactful. You instead of force, you use persuasion in a 2 year, always. And then in a 3 year, we're going to network, we're going to have fun, we're going to be joyful, we're going to change our appearance, always. But network, get out, try something on, even if it feels stupid. And then in a 4 year, you have to go back to work. You have to work because a 4 year is a year of putting ourselves in a box. We put in ourselves and we grind away and we work and we build our foundation. For all the plans we had in our 1 year, 4 is your building and planning year. Okay. Always. So you want to be able to be productive, measurable results in a 4 year. It is practical. Do not waste your money in a 4 year, whatever you do, because it's ruled by the planet Saturn. It has no sense of humor in a 4 year. So when you're in it, it's only 1 year, but it's a grind. There are certain years that are grind, and 4 is the one that you grind the most. And then a 5 year is your freedom change. It's your year to go out and sell yourself, market yourself, promote yourself, travel, make changes. Do you need to move? It's a year to move. Do you need to change jobs? It's a year to change jobs. It's change. Make changes in your plans. People get stuck in a certain plan. They don't make the adjustments they need to make. 5 is your year for adjustment, and you definitely need your freedom in a 5 year. Because remember, you were confined in a 4 year because you worked and you ground away and you were practical and you didn't have fun in a 4 year. But a 5 year, you can go out now and be freer and market yourself. Okay. And then in a 6 year is a year filled with responsibility, tending to health, helping others, being of service. It's a year of marriage and divorce. It's a year of family responsibility, domestic responsibility, responsibility for others. People need you all over the place. So you have to really pace it so you don't get used or enabled. And the other thing is you have to tend to health issues. Nutrition is important. You're learning more about nutrition and food in a 6 personal year. So number 7 is your year of rest and restoration, planning, reflecting the last 7 years of your life. So you need to take time out. Most people do not. They work hard. They feel exhausted. They don't know why, because they were supposed to not work hard, not to be exhausted. They were to retreat. They were to plan. They were to reflect and process their lives of the last 7 years. Because when you hit that 7 year, you are going to be in a position that you're going to have to start to let go of things. So you need to assess in a 7 year, where am I been? What am I doing? Do I want to keep going forward the way I've been doing for the last 7 years? Very important. You must look at that, because if not, you'll make mistakes going forward. So take time out, reflect, have a lot of time alone. 7s want to be alone. In 7 years, people don't want to go to tours and do stuff like that. They want to be in the nature and they want to be alone more. So it isn't that they don't like anybody. It's just they need that requirement to process what they've been doing for the last 7 years. It's a big planning year. And then in the number 8 It's a time of business. That's what I've just been through this year. I just want out of my 8 year soon, and I want to be in my 9 year because all I've dealt with was contracts, business, surprises, stuff that I'm like, oh no, money, investments, um, all stuff having to do with business and money. And it's another, as I said, it's Saturn. Saturn rules karma. It's a very karmic year. So a lot of your old issues come up around money, business, all of that kind of planning. It requires you have to pay attention. You cannot get away with, oh, I'll put it off. So many things that happen in 8 year, you can't put off. You have to deal with them right now. And so it can be good. It's a harvesting year if you planted well in your 1 year. That's why 1 years are so important. You have to plant well in a 1 year. You have to pay attention to these timetables in your chart so that you're not starting things in an ending period or going off and touring the world when you should be at home working, and then you wonder why it didn't work. So there's cycles that are working for you and against you if you don't honor them. So now we're in an 8 year, we're going to harvest, we're going to reap what we have sowed. This is your reaping year. What did you sow? And if you didn't, well, here you go. You don't get much, or you get problems. So now we go into the 9 year, which is the ending year. And this is the period of completion, endings, letting things go. Things will leave your life. You have to let them go. They will want to go, and you need to let them go. So sometimes things we don't want to let go, they're forced out of our hands in a 9 year. So let things go, even if it's painful. Clean up, discard, get rid of stuff that doesn't need to be carried another 9 years. So that's why 9 years are great. They clean up. It's a wonderful year to do charity work. Wonderful year in a 9 year to do some charitable work. I've already lined up some things that I want to do in my 9 year this coming year that I think I can try to influence anyway, I hope. And it's very, very important that you do charitable work. It's like putting money in your karma bank. It's a deposit. So you do things in a 9 year without worrying about what's in it for you. Because many people give, but like, what's in it for me? And so that's not the attitude you use in a 9 year. It's improving the human condition. So that's a challenge to do in a 9 year is to improve the human condition, clean up your life, let stuff go, let it leave, and move forward without so much baggage. So that completes 9 full years. It's a harvest year in a 9 year, but a lot of these decisions of what you're going to do was made back in your 7 year. But it was ending the 7 year, finishing it out in the 9 year.
Do
That's
you
how it
have
works.
do you have a favorite, or what are your favorites of the years that what are the most fun years?
The most fun years are 3 years,
Ooh.
5 years, 3, 5. 1 years can be fun, but they can be stressful because everything is new and you have to make all these decisions. But they can be stressful. They're good things. The other thing, too, about a 9 year is a lot of stuff we can't see the good, but then later on we say, oh, thank God, that's so wonderful. If I hadn't done this, this couldn't have happened. So the 9 year in some way is very good as long as we know how to use it. It's like, oh, finally, I don't have to carry this shit anymore because I've done 9 years of it and I don't want it anymore. And finally, okay, we'll let you go. And that's the kind of freedom. So 3 years wonderful. 5 years can be fun because there's good change. And 6 years is just a lot of responsibility. You're always going to feel loved and needed in the 6 years. And then by the time you get to the end of it, it's like, oh, thank God, I don't want to help anybody anymore. I don't want to be needed anymore. I would say, I don't want this responsibility anymore. And there's like no way you could escape it. But that's what 3 is probably the most fun.
Oh, cool. Because next year is three, but not till the end of the year.
You should start feeling the 3 by summer. By summer, I would say.
Yay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you should be, but network. That's a 3.
Yeah.
Remember, we talked about that. We talked about basically you being able to network in your area there. Very important. So I would, but once spring goes, I would be on a roll and get that started.
Oh, trust me. I'm planting all the seeds, or I've been planting all the seeds,
Good. Yeah.
but
But it requires a lot of patience because you're coming out of that two energy. It's really patience. Two frustrating years of 2 years, like, oh, yeah. And indecisiveness is very common in a 2 year. It's so indecisive. It's like you have to kick them in the pants to put a rocket under them to get them to decide. Just choose, even if it's wrong. Because the universe steps in and it just loves a made up mind. It can really help. Very important.
now in your work you talk a lot about karma and reincarnation, and I want to talk a little bit about the most important. What do you think the most important personal is? It your destiny number?
Important number is your life path number from your date of birth, because
Okay.
that's the road you're on. You can't get off of it. You can try changing your date of birth, and people do, but you still have the original one. It's like an invisible platform, and it's always there. And so you're on it the whole life. And that tells you the road you're going to be on. Like I'm a 5. So there's a tremendous amount of change in my life as a 5. And whether I like change or not, it likes me and it finds me and creates situations where I'm forced to make the change. And so, and it's always been better, but it's like stressful. I mean, I don't think I'll come back as a 5 for a while because it's just too much change. But the most important is your entire date of birth, your month, your day, your year, and that life. Second is your destiny from your full name, because that's the direction you have to go. You have to take that road to the destiny of your name. That's the direction. So you need to know what was your exact birth registered name.
I'm looking for your book because I want to show people your book. Hold on a second.
Oh, okay.
I
I was
have it.
wondering, what are you doing?
I'm being silly. Divine Design. This is Gail's book, and this book you show people how to calculate all of the different numbers. So you were talking about there's the destiny number, and what's the other one?
Well, your main number, the most important number is your life path from your full date of birth.
Life
And
path.
that's the most important one. The second most important is your destiny from your all the letters in your name, because that's the direction to take this life. Not that people take it because they don't know it. They just feel it, but they don't know it. But that's the direction to go. Because we say, well, what's my purpose? Well, I said it's right there. And that they don't take, what's driving you, what's driving a person or what motivates a person is coming from the vowels of your name. So we call
Yeah,
that the push is that's coming from past life, the vowels of your name. And each vowel has a different representation. Like the
right.
first vowel is the most important vowel of a name.
And you have ways in your Divine Design book to calculate each of these. Now, in order to do the vowels and the name, you actually need to you have for each of the letters, you have what numbers associated, and so people can
Right.
do the math. But anyone can do the math on their birthday. Or
Yeah, you just have to know what you have to know what it means.
yeah,
You know, I mean, if you the reason I wrote that book was to simplify it for people, to really make it easy so they can understand it without going through a whole lot of mathematics, which is pain in the neck.
yeah,
And
math is hard.
yeah, so it's really easy. It's basically also all these other numbers. Can you hold that book up again? Hold
Yes.
it. Yeah.
And then I was looking up where you have the calculations in the book so somebody can write them all down. But yeah, here's the book.
Yeah, so hold it still because the top looks blurry or is too close to the camera. Okay, hold it.
Okay.
There you
How's
go.
ta-da?
Yeah. So divine design, how you created the life you are living. That's it. And the website is gailminogue.com, GAILMINOGUE.com.
And speaking of your website, I went on the website to see if I could find the book on there, but how are people able to purchase the book?
They can
Because
purchase it on the website.
I didn't see it on there.
It's on there. It's
Where?
under products.
I
Under
looked. I looked. I'll look again. But yeah, and I'm going to have your website and YouTube channel in the show notes. But your website is very simple. It's Gail Minogue.
Yeah, like Minogue as
Com.
in brogue, right, .com, gailminogue.com. Right.
Minogue.
MINOGUE.
Yeah.
Irish.
Yeah. Just
A
like,
good old Irish name, very old Irish name.
yeah.
Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying that, oh, in this book, there are items that people don't really realize about. And one of them is your license plate, your home address.
Hmm.
Okay. And the interesting thing about your license plate, because we always think we either customize the license plate or the DMV gives it to us sporadically as chosen by the DMV. But either way, your selection or the DMV selection, when you break down the letters and numbers in a license plate and add it together, you also find out a meaning of how you want others to see you in the world. So the license plate is a complete giveaway. We have, I think, our persona, but this is how we want people to see us. And that's your license plate. And nobody talks about your license plate, but it's a dead giveaway. And so we think we're just random, but we're not. Nothing
Yeah.
is random here. Places of business are not random numbers. Corporations have dates of birth. When they were in states and cities, all have date of founding and corporations, and so do we. We all are based on numbers, and you can tell a lot about a city or a state before you even move there, if that's agreeable for you. And we should always check out the numbers of a city or a state before you make a move.
Well, and there's also something called astrocartography,
Yeah, that's
which,
astrology.
yeah, but that tells you also the energy of the space. So I think it's interesting that numerology has something to do with it, and so does the astrology. So if a place,
But astrology, like my best place is in Iran. So
Iran,
Iran, yeah, that's where my wonderful place is. Well, that doesn't do me. Another place is in the middle of an ocean. So astrocartography has a lot of limits to it, let me tell you. And it's based on also astrology. Numerology is not based on astrology at all. If
I know.
anything, astrology fits inside of numerology because we're talking about sacred geometry of the universe and the heavens. So the heavens rule everything. They rule the geometric shape and sizes, and they rule the constellations. The whole structure of the universe is mathematics. And inside moves all these different um, positions of planets and constellations and universes and galaxies and everything else. And so when we're talking about astrocartography, we're talking about basically a formula that's based on astrological aspects and not necessarily sacred geometry um, at all. And you have to get into what I call energy packages. Energy packages are your astrological packages because you came through some certain constellation when you came here. And the blueprint, which is created prior to birth, is imprinted upon your caretaker's conscious, subconscious to give to you at birth. So you name yourself, but you have transferred that name to the people who are going to be in charge of you. So it gets registered. And it's hidden by letters and tones. And each one, because if you get into certain uh, cultures, there's no alphabet. There's only tones, sounds, characters. And you work off of tones. So everything here is sound and light. That's what it is, sound and light. And so we measure it in our society with numerics. And but you're gonna get I'm gonna get into the weeds here, which I don't want to get to most people, but just kind of gives you a background when people say, um, you know, we're talking different, like when we talk to the I Ching or we talk to Chinese astrology, again, we're talking about apples and oranges. Not that
True.
that doesn't have value, but um, much of a lot of information, we're talking about just energy fields. We're talking about energy fields, so the energy of this and that and this and everything else. So that we talk about basically sound, which is an energy field. And we have all different tones. The ancients could heal through tones. We don't know how to do that anymore. Not that we won't one day, but right now we don't. We're trying to learn how to um, do things without even speaking. So the internet and cell phones are wonderful because we can communicate without speaking. So mental telepathy is beginning of really through the cell phone.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I think if you summarize everything that you're saying, like everything really is math, right?
Mm,
I mean, music is math.
mathematical.
I mean, I've dated a lot of musicians. Music is math at the
Music
end
is
of
all
the day.
math.
Everything, the whole universe
It's a number for a tone. It's a number for a sound.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like a mathematical equation. Everything really comes down to a mathematical equation if you really break it down.
Yeah. Most people don't want to, and they can't because I don't want to. It's just too consuming. But also, if we can just get through to people that they've even reincarnated with a blueprint, that it's hidden in your name and date of birth, and start to activate that, that's very big, very forward motion progress. Because most people just know their sun sign, that's it. Yeah, I'm Aquarius or I'm a Sagittarius or whatever I am, whatever.
Well, and then astrology's math too,
Astrology is math too. It's all mathematics. Yeah. When you can get into I remember having a consultation with a Catholic priest, and I said, if I wanted to study the ancient sciences, what would you say? And he said, study the Kabbalah. And because you will get deep in the weeds with the Hebrew alphabet.
There's a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, right, right. It's even saying my internet connection is unstable. That's what it's saying.
Yeah,
Anyway, it's okay.
it's okay. So while Gail is freezing here a little bit, I'm going to tell you guys how to find her YouTube channel. So it's at Gail Minogue Numerology is Gail's YouTube channel, which you guys should check out. And I'm going to have it in the show notes because she has a lot of great information on there. That's how I found Gail. We
Wow,
became
through YouTube.
friendly.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
gonna make another YouTube this week. I
oh,
just did a really big Zoom program Saturday here,
mhm.
and the good thing about it is it's a night. I do 90-minute Zoom programs, and not one person left the program. When I closed it, now 90, every single person was there. So I'm going to be offering the recording from it. I'm waiting for my person to get me the recording and the product, and it'll go up on my website this afternoon. So people will be able to hear that. It's a very important session. It's a transition of 25 to 26, and it takes in a much bigger picture of the United States blueprint for the rest of the 20s. Very important period. We have a lot of stress ahead for the United States. A lot of stress.
Gail, don't tell people that.
I have to.
We have
What
to
do
give
you
them
want me to
some.
lie?
Yes, no, no. I want some upside. I want upside.
Well, people can really, I think the upside for people is to really know about working with the energy. Like you work with the Feng Shui, which is extremely important
Yeah.
and can really set up a big difference in a household. I've had my properties done before. Huge difference, huge correction. I recommend highly to everybody get it done. Whether you have a one-room apartment, you can always do correction in even a one-room studio. And then people need to know to make their space comfortable and living best for them. They need to know what personal year they're in. Because if I'm in a 9 year, I can't do anything about what's going on, say, in the government or the decisions that are being made, really. But I can make my life according to my own blueprint the best it can be and do forward. Why would I bother to continue to work if I didn't think it was all going to come to a better a better outcome? America, one thing about America, it has to go through a reinvention process in order for it to thrive. So that's all it's doing is reinventing itself. It does this every 80 years.
Yeah, and in Feng Shui, we talk about something creative chaos, which is when, like,
Yes,
let's say you just moved, like I just moved. It was
yes.
creative chaos. I mean, I was living in boxes and all this stuff, and it felt like chaos. But then all of a sudden you unpack everything, you put everything in its place. But the process of creative chaos, you have to, in order to get into a new space and make it beautiful, part of the process is the chaos. So
Yes.
in order for the United States to up level, we have to go,
Reinvent itself because
yeah.
it's going to thrive. I'm not worried about the United States. Everybody is wringing their hands and everything else. But everything will change and as it reinvents itself, it gets better and better, but it's got to get through. It's like a birth. It's messy
And it's
and
painful.
it's painful and it's ugly. But guess what? We got this great new baby and it's going to be all full of possibilities. So we have huge progress ahead, but we got to get out of the 20s. And as we go through the 20s, we think this is the worst, but it isn't. And so it moves forward and it starts progressing to the next step and then the next step. And then the 28 election, it really starts the beginning of the new.
That should be
So it's very
exciting.
exciting. And there's tremendous amount of scientific breakthrough. Just as of January this year, a new treatment came out that I'm able to take advantage of that is not covered by Medicare yet, but I'm going to pay for it anyway because I really want it. I need it. And it's regarding the eyes. It's something brand new that came out, but it was FDA approved in January. So I can do this for eye treatment and prevent blindness. And so this was never available. And my feeling is, and listening to the doctors, that within 3 years, this will be replaced by stem cell within 3 years, and you will never have to have this treatment. So this is the stuff. We're going to have blood tests for cancer. It's very soon.
Can they fix? I'm so over having to wear readers. How about that? Can we fix
Yeah,
that?
yeah, that they will. They are.
They
There's huge
better.
breakthroughs now with eyesight and with cancer. And so we just have to really get through, I would say, hold on, go through this reinvention. America always is rewarded by reinventing itself. This is how it stays relevant. Look at other countries. They do not stay relevant. They kind of wither, they become decadent. Europe has become decadent. There's phases of empires. But you look at it, what was the latest, breakthrough coming out of Europe?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, what? I mean, not that they aren't have great scientists and everything else, but what's the latest invention that we have or things that have, we're a capitalist society. And so we take risks and other places don't take risks. And we monetize it. We put money behind our mouth. Americans are big risk takers and they're always on the move because it's a five country. United States, July 4th, 1776 is a five. It has to move. It's always reinventing itself. And the big reinvention is every 80 years.
So you think we're going to come out the other side better?
Yes.
We'll see. That's the upside.
Yeah,
I
the
wanted to
upside
end
isn't
on a
real.
high
It's like
note.
we have to be able to go through the creative process of 2026. And then you're going to start seeing these changes 2027 and then 28. And the worst of the worst is it's done. And then you start to have a new election to begin to birth the new beginning of the X period. So you have to get through the 20s. But
Yeah,
this period and going into the beginning part of next year is a hard part. But we've been through it before. We just don't remember it. I could cite you examples of the people and the things that happened the last 80 years that were horrible. I mean, we came out of a depression going to World War II, and then we started this nice 80-year period. So we're not going through a depression. We're not at World War III. So, it's just messy.
yeah,
So, so we go, but people listening to this need to know their personal year so they can help themselves or best use their own energy, best use it, you know?
absolutely. And Gail's book, Divine Design, helps you find your divine blueprint so that you
Yeah.
can live your best life.
Yeah. And
And
know also that where you live, you can do the feng shui on your place and look at the number on your unit or your house and know what that house wants. Houses have personalities. They
Yeah,
want they want something.
absolutely. I mean, I my last apartment was an 8 and this one's another 8.
It helps you to be a good businesswoman.
That's the point. This is, we're in I just, this whole apartment for me is an office. It's a studio. Yes, it's my home, but I very purposely selected an 8 for that very reason.
Yes, because an 8 is about success. It likes to have people with money or look like money. You know, it's people with 8 life paths, if you're born and your date of birth reduces to the number 8, you have an 8 life path, you always want to look like you're prosperous. You always
Well,
want to look like you're in charge.
well, there's also like I'm the 26th, which is an 8. It's not the
Yeah,
whole
so
birthday, but that's an 8 energy also. So I really feel connected to the 8, which
are
is
you born
also
on a 26th day or your life path is a 26?
no, I'm born on the 26th day.
Okay, yeah.
My life path is 9. So
Oh, so you're the humanitarian.
yeah.
Yeah, the humanitarian. Each one has a purpose. So if the life path is a 9, it's the humanitarian. It's the international person, the person who is also psychic, intuitive, and prophetic. Very powerful. An 8 person is about business and making money and being in charge. A 7 person is more the intellect. They're developing their higher minds, or they need to be well educated. They need to be around smart people. So these are all life path numbers.
Yeah.
Those are all in the book. Yeah.
So I'm looking at your book, and you've got the first is your date of birth total, and is that the life path?
Yes.
Then the
And
second
people
is,
call it also their life lesson.
okay, so that's a 9, and then your name at birth is, I think that's a 9 also. Lucky me, your solar motivator 9, your personality, you have a 6 personality, and my destiny is 9. Good times.
So is your personality is a 6?
Yeah.
Is that from your consonants?
I don't remember. I did the math, and math is hard for me.
Oh, okay. I should have
I
done
put
it
it
for
in here.
you.
So I think either my name at birth is either a 6 or a 9. I'm not sure because then I have a 6 over here. So I think I got confused. But I know my life path is 9. And
Okay, so this is a life path of letting go
yeah,
because
I
it's a
know.
finishing number. You have to learn to let go. It's not a lot of fun, but it's a wonderful number because I love the number 9. It's really a number of beauty and art and appreciation of art and beauty and charisma. People with 9 they tend to look younger than their age. They tend to be charismatic. But people use them for their ideas, and they have to be careful they don't get used.
I hear that.
Yeah,
Uh,
they get used.
in Feng Shui, 9 is a very important number. It's a number of completion. It's a sacred number. It's
Yeah.
we like when I hang a Feng Shui crystal, we always do it. The string is cut in multiples of 9. So it's either 9 inches, 18 inches, 27 inches, and then we use red string. And so 9 is a really pertinent number in my life and in Feng Shui. So
Yeah, 9 is very, very important number because it's a number of completion. So if we do cut it into 9 pieces, it's completion. It's always completion. But about letting go. So it can be it's a natural psychologist, natural shrink. You always understand people's problems. The 9 always sees other people in their full potential. They can't see it themselves, but you can see it. So
yeah.
you're very prophetic. Can say things they say, well, how do you know that? And you can say, I don't know. I just know that, You can't, it's how it is. But everybody has like a one personality. These are the beginners. These are the Lewis and Clark people. These are the Martin Luther King people. They want to start things. And the
Yeah.
5 people want to change things.
And
So if you
that's
get a 5,
you.
yeah, that's me. So everywhere I go, I change things, but I don't change, but they do because change 5s are catalysts to change. So the United States is a 5, so it's a catalyst for the world.
And so are
Whatever it,
you.
yeah. So whatever it does, it changes. It changes the situation for the condition what was there. It changes that condition. That's the America is its job is to assimilate and it has to learn to assimilate itself. That's why it's got all this cultural crap going on, because it has to learn to assimilate and then export assimilation in the world. It's its job.
Wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
Gail, on that note, I
On that
want
happy
to,
note,
yes, yes. I want to thank you so much for joining
oh,
me
yeah,
again. And it's always such a pleasure to see you. And I
you
want to
too.
invite everyone again to check out Gail's YouTube channel, Gail Minogue Numerology.
Yep.
And then also her website, which is just gailminogue.com, super easy, and her book, Divine Design. All
Thank
right,
you.
well, don't hang up, Gail. I'm going to
Oh,
say
okay.
goodbye to everyone and say please subscribe, share, and like. Cheers, everyone, and ciao for now.